Good morning, Miracle Swingers. Today I'm going to talk about driving the golf ball and what my keys are for hitting it longer and straighter. So I have to bring up the World Long Drive Championships that just happened last weekend. Can you believe Bryson DeChambeau came in second place?
407 Bryson DeChambeau. Oh my God!
Last year, Bryson stunned the golfing world when he placed inside the top 8 at number 7 in the World Long Drive competition. This year, he came in second place. That's one of the most amazing feats I can't even imagine. He won the U.S. Open 2 years ago, and now he almost won the World Long Drive competition. And I'll tell you, he won the U.S. Open because he was driving the ball like 380 yards. That made a big difference in terms of being able to have a higher lofted club, even if he's coming out of the rough. Hitting a pitching wedge out of the rough is a lot easier than a 7-iron, I'll tell you. And he ran away with it by 6 strokes. Now I have to give another shout out to my buddy Fast Eddie Fernandez, who won the senior division. Eddie and I have been friends for a couple years now. He's over 50, and he's the first golfer to ever play in a Champions Tour event and hit the ball over 200 miles an hour. Okay? That's the first person on any tour to hit a ball that fast. And he's over 50, so he's a huge inspiration to me, and I'm so glad that we're friends. So now I want to hit it farther. Do you remember when I realized I was saying stuff like, hey, I don't even have to practice so much because of my wonderful over-the-top miracle swing? And I realized that's some weak sauce, Why don't you practice more now that you have the over-the-top miracle swing and see how good you can really get? So I've been focused on my short game, right? Well, I've been thinking in that same kind of limited mindset, thinking, man, I don't even have to work on anything. And I've picked up like 20 yards, 30 yards with my over-the-top miracle swing with my driver. And, and I'm hitting it long, the longest and straightest of my life. But it dawned on me, what if you actually did your long driving program and spent 1 day a week working on your driver? Now, every time I've done this program, I not only get longer, but I usually get straighter as well. I think it's simply by virtue of the fact that I'm working on my driver once a week. I specifically spend the whole session geared towards driving the ball better. So I have a plan. I ordered my swing speed radar. Again, you guys have seen me do this for 10 years. I do it every couple of years. Now this time, my buddy Sean is going to work with me, and I'm going to make a show, my driving evolution, for MSE TV. So I'm going to work out every week. I hope you'll follow along and work out every week. And let's see how long we can get. Let's become bombers. Okay? So I'm excited about working on my driver, and we're going to go through my driving technique today, and we're going to see where I'm starting at. Now, the next MSE Intensive is November 5th and 6th.
Yeah, I shot a 72 with Balboa, playing from the white tees with a bunch of guys, and I'm using the over-the-top swing. Man, you hit a lot of fairways and greens when you use that swing.
If you'd like to come out for a weekend of transformative golf instruction, hit me up. It's going to be an amazing time. And also, if you want private lessons, my online lessons are booked. So thank you guys for everybody who wants to be a part of that. So we're going to get started this next week. So, and also go to MSE TV and pick it up. It's the best deal in golf. My short game stuff now is better. I'm working on the new Miracle Method, okay? It's the whole new over-the-top miracle swing, and it's going to be available to everybody, all of my MSE TV subscribers. And don't forget the new driving evolution material. So let's dig into my latest driving session. Okay, guys, so I've warmed up now, and I'm going to be working on those same things I've been talking about, like working through my left leg, trying to press out of my left foot a little bit harder. And You know, I'm actually also going to experiment with a little bit softer wrists, but here you see me working on my inside and over the top move. Now, I'm going to show you real quick just a handle trace that I am inside over the top here, but in trying to reach my hands a little bit higher, I feel like I've lost some of the depth that I was going for previously. And so that's something I think I'm going to have to change the next time I go out to the driving range. Let's take a look at some of these swings here. Okay, right off the bat, I tagged that one right down the middle. Here's another good one. I can tell by my impact face. Yeah, whenever I stick a finish, that usually means that I'm staring at the ball and I'm happy with it. So I'm starting off pretty good here so far. So that one I swung extra hard and pressed up out of my lead leg. So let's watch that in slow motion. So I stood up and I was actually moving backwards a little bit. A lot of times you'll see Hogan and Nicklaus do that when they really go after one. So I like this camera angle at this time of day because you can see the shadow is behind me. And this particular driving range is the opposite of Eaton Canyon. So the down the line view is right into the sun, and so it doesn't really give me a very good look at my golf swing. It's not very aesthetically pleasing. Now here you can see that my stance is a little bit narrower. And I've even got a little cowboy squat there. That's something that the OTT has changed in the way I load down into my legs as I go over my shoulder. I'm going to have to take a look at that when we get a closer look at all of these golf swings. So pretty good ball striking. Now let's take a peek underneath the hood. Okay, so this first swing, I want to show you guys what I'm talking about with my cowboy squat or the Sneed squat. So I never had this previously, but since I've been loading over my shoulder here, you can see that I've got more spread in my knees. So I'm sinking down pretty hard into the ground here. And you can see that those knees are spread open, which is then going to give me more strength in my legs as I stand back up and engage those vertical forces in my golf swing. So that's a key to creating, good speed and power. So the long drivers would actually be pressing backwards out of that lead leg. So let's watch another angle here. Okay, so I just roasted that ball. But one thing that is interesting from this angle, now I'm leveraging that thing over my shoulder, and I'm going to show you from the other angle. It's going to be easier to see. But from this side, as I make my move, it certainly doesn't look like it. It looks like I'm dropping it under, which makes me a little bit nervous. But when we get to these next couple of frames, you can see right here that that club is not under my shoulder. It's over my shoulder. And so I'm pulling that thing down. I call it the pump handle move. The leverage in that left arm is like it's the lever of a pump, and I'm like pulling that thing down hard over my shoulder. Then here we can see that club face comes in nice and square. And that's what I'm looking for. And as you can see, I'm standing up firm on my left side and extending through the ball. So this is a pretty nice looking golf swing in my estimation. Once again, I want to show that over the shoulder. This is where it looks different than, say, last year. So that's a little bit steeper. Very good swing. I'd like to have that all the time on the course. The guy behind me is recording his swing. Yeah, but as I said, I need to make sure that I'm getting deeper. You know, so here I'm hitting a power fade out there. Now watch the hands. This is the key that's different for me. I never had that look before I began OTT, where that thing is coming down over my shoulder. Again, the pump handle move. But that being said, I would like to get my hands deeper because I want to feel more inside and over the top. I'm starting to not have it enough. So I'm going to put in the dots here and we'll take a look. So this first dot, now this isn't perfectly down the line, but I think it suits our purposes. So right there, I feel like I'm reaching a little down the target line. I'd like my hands in a little bit closer to my hip, to be honest with you. That would mean that I'm coiling more around my trail leg before I lift the club up high. So here we see that now I'm trying to get my hands a little bit higher. Because I'm not very tall, I'm just not going to get that really high arms look, you know, because the ball is just going to be on a flatter plane for me than other golfers. But here we can see the little over move, whereas before I used to have that club along the plane line coming down. But this little over move shows on my right shoulder that club is being leveraged a little bit better. And then a nice square impact slightly into out path, and that produces that little butter cutout there. So I'm excited. I'm ready to try and hit the ball further. I feel confident that my technique is pretty solid. Now in the past, a lot of times I've gone for distance and not had control over my technique, but I'm ready to get longer, and I hope you guys are too, and I hope you'll follow along by watching on MSE TV. This is going to be a fun series. 53 years old. Let's see how far I can learn to hit it. So I love you guys. If you want to come out to the MSE Intensive, hit me up, or if you want private lessons at Christo@myswingevolution.com. Hit them long and hit them straight.
Are you ready to experience your very own miracle? Christo Garcia, the man who swung as Ben Hogan on the Golf Channel's special Hogan, has created the most controversial and effective golf training program in history.
The old PGA pros, they had this much simpler kind of wisdom. That's what I'm talking about, my friend.
What made the most sense was learning how to put leverage on the shaft.
It's a miracle.
That's the OTT.
Do you have a burning desire to get better at golf?
Like that.
Are you frustrated by overcomplicated modern golf instruction? Well, your prayers have been answered.
OTT!
Now's your chance to learn the over-the-top miracle swing. Only at myswingevolution.com.